Hello, people of the world.
Hello.
Welcome back. My name is Drem. This is Unreleased Heat, the podcast where I bring in local artists. We chat about life. We chat about music that they have coming out, and you get to learn a little bit about your local artists that you know and love. Maybe don't know,
Yeah.
but should love. You know what I'm
should
saying?
love.
Should love. To my left today, as you see, let me hold on. Getting ahead of myself. As you can see, I am not in my normal studio today. I don't have my illustrious green screen behind me. This is the first episode that we're doing off location, and I'm excited about it because it's one of my favorite spots in town. To my left is the one, the only 12 Clouds.
What up?
We are on the 12th cloud right now.
We're in the 12th cloud.
In the studio. We are here. What's up, dog?
What up?
Fucking chilling, bro.
I'm glad to be doing
rainy.
this with you because we've tried it multiple times.
Too many times.
I'm always out of town.
Literally every time that I'm like, you ready? You're gone. Every time.
Yeah, but
Every time.
you could still do the green screen on this plant.
Dude, I should too.
Have all its little leaves be just like,
The vibe's still there.
yeah,
The
we're
vibe's
still green
there.
screening, y'all.
Well, shit, man. Let's dig in. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. Where you from? How long you been doing music?
Man, okay. I grew up in Evanston, Illinois. That's the north side of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a Cubs boy, even though I don't really fuck with baseball that much.
Go Cubs.
It's built in. Bulls, Bears.
Bulls, Bears,
So
Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica.
yeah, I'm a city boy living in Montana. So it's a little different,
Yeah, big different.
you know. The music scene is different. I've been making hip hop beats for like 12 years.
Okay.
Since 2012.
What would you say is like one of the biggest difference between the scenes? I can speak personally because like I've lived in some bigger cities.
Yeah.
And I'd say that the camaraderie is more in bigger cities.
Camaraderie, yeah, I feel like, okay, I'm going to get to that because that's true. But my first distinction is just level of exposure and influence in hip hop. So like when you're out in a place like Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, people have exposure to artists usually from a mainstream level, and then if they become really big fans, they dig into like lower levels. Whereas when you're in a city, you can get exposed at the underground level first even, or like you have a local scene that exists independent of the Kendricks and Drakes.
Big time.
And you can get into hip hop through these different avenues. And there's just like cultural elements that aren't in play, like dance and graffiti.
Big time. Big
you
time.
know? So it's more like in a city, you're more getting like a well-rounded, holistic cultural experience.
Definitely.
Whereas
I like that.
when you're in a place like Missoula, it's like, if I want to be a hip hop fan, I have to go out of my way sort of to like find you, find other people that like the type of music I like, and find people to talk to about it.
Yeah.
It's not just like here. It's not built in or like
Yeah, there's
obvious.
definitely no real like foundation of culture
Right.
at all. We're kind of sculpting that as we go along.
Well, and Montana has its own culture. I'm not saying they don't have culture, but hip hop culture, we have to build ourselves
Big
here. So like
Big time.
there's just more work involved in being a hip hop artist
Yeah.
and just a hip hop fan.
I'd
You know?
agree, especially on like the internet side of things. Just because there isn't.
But like you'll run into a lot of people, I feel like, in places like this where you'll ask them what their top 5 are, and it's like all white people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, like, and that's not necessarily like their fault per se, because this whole state is basically
Not at all
white.
One of the only like bigger name hip hop artists that comes to Montana consistently, other than Tech Nine, is Atmosphere,
Yeah.
and that's it.
They'll say like Atmosphere and Eminem, and some people will say like Yellow Wolf or G-Eazy. I'm like, okay.
Yellow Wolf is a big one out
It's
here.
like you're just seeing this person in the mainstream because they're white, and then you're connecting with them because they're country. And it's like that's the influence.
You can
but
vibe with it.
at a hip hop level, like these people are not important or like not even close to even in the conversation. Like if you're not bringing up some of the staples, I just like can't even start the conversation. Like
I agree.
where is Scarface, Common, Nas, Method Man, Wu-Tang Clan, like
New Jabies, dude.
New Jabes?
New Jobbies.
That's what I mean, though. There's like this separation. If I was back where I grew up, I wouldn't have to have any of these preconditions to the conversation, and we would just start talking, and people would be like, "Yeah, you hear the new Ed O.G. and Pete Rock?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm in."
Yeah.
Right. But here it's like I have to have all these like conditional statements. What kind of hip hop do you like? Is it all white people? Like, it's just like annoying, man.
Yeah, and you have to, especially because I grew up here, so I grew up in Missoula, and like, especially with my family isn't super into hip hop. I didn't really grow up with it. Really, all I grew up with was like Beastie Boys and maybe some Tribe Called Quest. But you have to like seek it out. If you want the knowledge, if you want to learn about it, you have to do it.
You have to do the knowledge, for sure.
You have to want it, and you have to love it.
And more respect to those of you out there that are doing that journey, because that's love. That's
100%.
No one's going to do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And in a place like this, you're going to get spoon-fed a lot of like just mid shit. And you need to go out and
Montana
listen.
is a pay-to-play environment. It's not about talent. It's not about it's about if you have the money and if you know the right people, you can get ahead here. And it's weird. It's weird.
Word.
It's very weird.
Money helps get you what you want, for sure.
Yeah.
Too bad I got none of it.
Yup. Starving artist.
We do what we can. That's why I live in my studio. That's why I keep it here, keep it local. I have a real DIY mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pay someone else to master my shit or mix my shit. I'd rather learn and do it myself, because that's all money that I use to live.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, too, I think the product sounds better because it relates to you more, and it's 100% yours. Your sound is fully in it.
Yeah, you can create your own imprint. Your thumbprint on all my mixes is there.
Yep.
My thumbprint on the way that I sequence albums is there.
That's actually one thing I've struggled with like releasing songs, because I use so many different mixing and masterers, so many different producers that I work with, so many different engineers that like I struggle with. Like, I'll upload a song and I'll listen to the new song, and then another one of my song plays, and the levels are completely different. And
right.
Yeah,
that's hard. And then just the musicality of having consistent production from a single mind. Like, all my favorite albums, really, with a few exceptions, they're like one producer, one rapper, and they have this cohesive vibe.
Yeah.
And when you do like 8 different producers, or you're on YouTube and you're typing a Mac Miller beat and a Freddie Gibbs type beat, and you're just like paying a guy $75 to use his thing and then putting them all together, there's no like unified vision at the end of that process.
Definitely not.
And I definitely that's something as a listener that I value highly, is like the album experience.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people in the streaming era,
the album experience is dying, bro.
It is gone. It's just gone.
It's dying.
People will shuffle their liked songs, or they'll just like they'll have a couple favorites on someone's album that they return to. But
yeah,
I grew up, and I'm dating myself now, but I grew up in the Walkman era with CDs. I had to go buy a physical CD anytime I wanted new music. We were just starting to get into like downloading Kazaa and LimeWire and shit, but I had compact discs.
Computers.
I had to physically carry them with me and keep them on my person to listen to music.
That's dope, though.
So those albums that I spent money on, I played them endlessly, front to back, memorize all the lyrics. Like, I know the liner notes. I'm reading the shit. That experience, streaming just can never give it to you.
I agree. And I didn't. You're a little bit older than me, so I did not grow up in the Walkman but I grew up real poor. So MP3 players weren't a thing. iPods, not a thing in my family.
Word.
So that one of my earliest and like favorite music memories is buying Sublime's 40 Ounces to Freedom.
Fuck yeah.
That was like the first physical CD I bought myself. And then from there,
love that joint.
I got Tribe Called Quest album. I bought like a Coheed and Cambria album. I bought like a Pearl Jam album. So I always had CDs.
We're rocking.
That was always the way to go. So like that album experience, it's
big, man.
I wish people cared about it more now, and it wasn't such a single market, and just it's one hit wonder market, and it's
and I mean, I love the freedom and flexibility streaming gives you and having your phone, I can make my playlist and customize my experience for
Definitely.
the gym or for running or whatever. Like, it's dope. I'm not talking shit.
There's just something about a physical piece of music, man. Whether it's a CD or a record or
physical media, and also just like the limitations of that media that force you to care more.
Yeah.
It forces you to have a big experience with the music and go from track 1 to track 16.
Mm-hmm. I think somebody recently who is doing great and at like kind of bringing is Killer Mike.
Fuck yeah.
Mike, the album that he put out.
Yeah.
What a story, dude. Just from front to back. Just so cohesive and good. And it was...
Killer Mike is an incredible artist.
Incredible.
He's one of my role models for
incredible.
sure.
I think that is one of the best albums that has been put out in the last 5 years. Like,
yeah, the sound was really dope, but also just like Mike's energy and honestly just like his political hostility. I fuck with it, dude.
yeah, we love Mike.
We're in such a turbulent political era of like social unrest, and like we're on the brink of fascism, and I just can't fucking get behind an artist that isn't gonna mention it.
I agree.
You gotta fucking care about your world.
I agree. There's a point too where, so I was listening to last night a podcast, Rainn Wilson's podcast, and he had Serge Tankian on, the lead singer of System of a Down. And Serge Tankian.
Where is he from again?
Oh God,
somewhere like from the Soviet Union or something.
He is
like Serbia, some shit like that.
It's not Serbian,
like
it's
Eastern European.
Yeah, I want to say
it's somewhere that underwent like a revolution.
Armenian. He's Armenian.
Yeah.
Yep. He's Armenian.
Did his grandparents like survive the genocide or something? He has a wild like political backstory.
Yeah, he has a super wild story. He has a super wild story. He basically went from he was talking about how he went from somebody that I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but it was something along the lines of somebody that looked at his government as a means for like keeping the peace and a means of like escape, and basically having to leave Armenia because of what was going on there. And then like he immediately moved to Hollywood, and then went to this like Armenian private school in Hollywood. So he basically just made like a complete 360.
Word.
And is now like this political commentator.
Yeah.
But he touched on that. He touched on basically he thinks it's almost shameful that you have such a platform and then you just ignore things.
And I'm not saying that every song needs to
Agree.
be political, social, whatever. I listen to Key Glock all the time when I work out. You can make music about fucking slanging dope and having bitches and shit.
It's fun to listen to.
I rock with it. I'm not being a hater. I just think like if you're going to consider yourself to be a well-rounded artist, like an artist properly, like you have to encompass like the totality of
Definitely
everything. And you can flex and have an ego and care about your society and mention political concepts from time to time. I like when it's less actually like less direct, more of the Mary Poppins approach. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah, just like weave in some ideas, some philosophy into a fun song, and then people start thinking by accident.
Yep.
Like that's the ethos that I'm trying best to go for. You know,
I mean that reminds me of your song Flower Bomb.
Seed Bomb.
Seed Bomb. Yeah. Seed. It's the same idea.
Yeah.
It's a very
it's a seed and a bomb.
very very poetic and very up to interpretation. Like it has so many different meanings.
That's what I like to try to do, is get people to think on their own and have them not realize that I got them to do it. Like I don't want them to think like that they're thinking what I think. I want them to just think.
Yep. My favorite, or I will get people who ask, "Oh, what did you write that song about?" And my favorite thing to say is, "What do you think I wrote it about?"
Yeah, I wrote it for you.
You tell me. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. And
then they'll tell me, and I say, "Great, that's what it's about." I'm like,
yeah,
that's what you got out of it. Cool.
Yeah, and I'm definitely a big believer in and this works more for like visual art, the paintings and stuff, but the viewer brings as much to the equation as the creator.
Absolutely.
And the art is what happens like in that interaction between
completely agree.
Listener and media, or viewer and media.
Because you can put out whatever you want, and you can interpret what you put out however you want, but that
It's going to hit different people different ways, and all of those experiences are valid, and they are all going to combine together if it's having some sort of societal impact into this like bigger narrative.
Definitely.
And you can't control that.
No.
It's once you put it out, it's just beyond you. It's beyond your limits. And now it's up to the rest of the people.
That's honestly kind of scary sometimes, though, because like,
yeah,
it's up to, and it's whatever. You could put out something so innocent, and somebody could take it and like, oh, you hate Jewish people, like,
and they do.
It's like, oh, how did you get that out of that? Like,
people
what the
do
fuck?
that.
And it's scary.
Yeah, that's why it's important to be media literate. It's like, as much as I don't want to be like, okay, boomer, type of person, the TikTok brain that we've got going on with like the ADD of like people's attention span, you've got to really focus on media literacy and like be able to see what someone is actually saying versus like what someone is telling you that person said.
Yep.
And see the difference. Because with all the like the conspiracy YouTube channels and like the QAnon shit out there and like that mentality, it weaves its way into everything. And people are always trying to spin a narrative and pull the wool over your eyes.
It's funny because that literally just happened with like the Drake and Kendrick stuff. Kendrick put out that whatever diss song it was, talking about this lost daughter that Drake is hiding, and then it turns out, oh nope, Drake sent a mole into Kendrick's like camp and gave him false information.
Yeah,
and
we can talk about it for an hour, but at the same time, Drake says he sent a mole. No one knows if he has a daughter or not. He's saying he doesn't. These people are saying he does. Media literacy is like you have to understand what is being told to you and who's telling it to you. You can't just believe something that someone says at face value and not understand that they have a perspective too.
Do you think they're actually beefing, or do you think they put their heads together and were like, let's get some money?
I'm not a conspiracy person like that.
No.
Kendrick hates Drake.
Okay.
This is very personal.
I like it.
I've been listening to Kendrick since 2012. Section 80 up till now. He is the exact type of artist that would hate Drake. All of his philosophy towards culture and music is the exact opposite of everything Drake embodies.
I don't think Drake even has a philosophy.
That's the problem. Drake is a corporation.
And don't get me wrong. I just want to say to these, don't get me wrong. There's a couple Drake songs that I will listen to religiously because they're fucking.
I like Drake songs,
bro.
Yeah,
but it's not art.
Well, okay.
Subjectively, to me, I don't view it as art. I view it as entertainment.
He's at the end of the day, he is a businessman, like Jay-Z said.
Yep.
He cares more about the product than the process.
Definitely.
Kendrick is a process artist, so he is experiencing his life, processing his life experiences through a medium. And then we get that at the end, digested and put out. And you get this like psychological evolution of an individual in a society. And you get these stories and belief systems that come out of that. It's very cohesive. It's got a clear arc. Mm-hmm. Drake is not that person. Drake is just like doing
he's
demographic workshops. He's like, what's hot right now? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Afrobeat. Oh, it's Latin drum and bass. He jumps on, rides it till it's dead, jumps on to a new thing.
And he's a genius for it, dude.
Yeah, it's just, it's that Hollywood machine, man. Drake is a machine.
Yeah.
And he has good songs. Like,
it's
undeniable. I'll never take that from him.
It's undeniable.
Try to sit here and hate on his skill level or something. But
undeniable.
Just, I don't think it was like contrived is my point. Okay. Kendrick hates this man because of what he is doing to the industry. And I'm going to be clear too.
Respect it. I like it.
I'm not a gatekeeper, but I'm going to say this. For the real hip hop heads, it's been fuck Drake since day one. I'm telling you.
Yeah, agreed.
Despite the fact that I like some of his songs, this man has been watering down the genre that I love since 2010. Watering it down, diluting the spirit of what we're doing here, making it a machine, making it a product. And whether it's all his fault or not, it's not the point. He's just like the biggest driver of it.
Definitely.
So he's the easiest person to point at and be like, you're the problem. there's a ton of problem people. It's a
much
whole
so.
industry of problem people, but
Very
he's
much
just
so.
the biggest one. So he's going to be the scapegoat for this conversation.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, Kendrick is like the biggest one. That's the opposite of that. So he's going to be
Savior.
the person.
He is the savior.
I'm not your savior, brother.
Brother.
Brother. I love the way he enunciates all his shit. All his shit. He always hits you with the T at the end of the words.
Dude, I love that. Is so one of the reasons Kendrick is like one of the reasons that I started being less like monotone when I record, because you listen to him and it's just so, he puts so much inflection and like in Not Like Us, one of the newest Drake, the way he says the chorus, they not like us.
Yeah, they not like us.
Us, just like the way he's so,
Yeah. It's funny because he's actually said that Earl Sweatshirt is one of his favorite rappers. And Earl Sweatshirt's the most monotonous motherfucker on earth, dude.
Yeah, literally.
No hate, Earl.
No hate at all, but literally.
But he's so monotonous, you know?
Yeah.
That's his style. It's just like the same vocal inflection for the whole song. And it's like this dark poetry thing. And then
Wolfgang.
Kendrick loves him, but he's doing a different thing.
Wolfgang. Well, shit, man. This is Unreleased Heat. One of the main points of this podcast is to check out some music that you are getting ready to release, not getting release.
Yeah.
What you got for us, my man?
I actually have a song with you I'm not going to play right now.
Okay.
But I'm putting together an album for the summer. And I think I'm going to put our song out, which is called Heatwave, first as the single.
Sick.
Because it's just a summer song. It's
Yeah,
literally just a song about it being too hot outside and needing to like find some shade, drink water, and smoke weed. That song is going to come first, and then I'll put the album out like shortly after.
Okay.
I think all of this will probably happen in July.
Sick.
It's like end of May now. July, August.
Yeah, this year's flying by, dude.
It's going way too fast.
It's insane.
I'll play a song for you first called The Hair.
Yeah.
And I literally just came up with this song off of just the wordplay of the word flow. Because in the long hair community, this shit is called flow.
Got the flow. Mine's finally coming back, dude.
Yeah, you shaved your head right when I offered you the feature.
Literally, I was going to say.
I was like, yo, I got this
Fun
song.
fact.
You want to do a feature? And
Fun
he's
fact.
like, oh, I just shaved my head. Literally the exact same thing happened with Zach James, too.
Yep. He shaved his head like a week after mine.
I was like, okay, well, I can't get Drim. I was like, Zach, you want to do the song? You're the other like long hair boy I know that makes music.
Hair gone.
Shaved his head.
Yep.
I was like, okay,
we
this is
basically
a solo
did it at the
song
same
now.
time. It was fantastic.
Crazy. But I literally just made this off the pun flow, just because rap flow, hair flow.
Like
and
it.
I was like, okay, well, what if I just make a fun song about how all my rap skills just emanate from this glorious
The power, dude.
mane.
This is the power.
So, yeah, it's a fun song. It's a silly song. If I can find it. Here we go. It's all live instrumentation on this one, too. I worked with this local...
Hair down, walk in a room that should be flowing.
This local drummer, Trickshot
Everybody
Johnson.
wants to touch my shit.
Everyone wants to touch my
You
shit.
want to run your fingers through my shit. Is that Jesus? Yes, it is. You know it is. Hey, come through when I look like Jesus. Ladies wonder how can he please it. It must be the hair. 12 times in the sky for the heathens. Everybody knows that I mean this. It must be the hair. 1 time for the way that I rap. 2 times when I slay on a track. It must be the hair. To all of y'all, they're way in the back. Listen close, what I'm saying is facts. It must be the hair.
So funky.
This is the part you just dance to. Just vibe out.
This is like what I imagine like hotel lobby music sounding on a planet that like
Hey, yo.
bleeds music. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like futuristic hotel lobby.
I pick up a pen, I'm all flipped up, clipped up, and now it begins. I walk in and your girl wanna suck on my thing. Look around, see a whole lot of hoes in my range. Never mind, cause I'm already good with my thing. On her mind, cause I'm hard to shake with migraines. Too much sauce, I toss a hot way. Who's that boss who rocks the long braid? I got a lot of new styles to showcase. You wanna follow the miles that I pace. Come sense it, flow so tremendous. How how we do it without putting the effort? That's the question, now here's the answer. 12 is a smooth romancer, it must be the hair. Come through when I look like Jesus. Ladies wonder how can he please it? It must be the hair. 12 times in the sky for the heathens. Everybody knows that I mean this. It must be the hair. One time for the way that I rap. 2 times when I slay on the track. It must be the hair. To all of y'all there way in the back, listen close, what I'm saying is facts. It must be the hair.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's not deep. It's just fun.
Sometimes that's what you got.
Yeah.
I think that actually is one thing that I think sometimes, especially in our scene, I think a lot of artists here worry too much about storytelling and being too deep, and which is great because at the end of the day it's therapy and you're writing what you feel. But and I say that's not, especially, I hate to say this because it sounds so negative, but in our small fucking scene, that's not what's going to gather attention.
Sure, yeah.
I truly don't think so. If people don't know you, they don't want to listen to your sob story.
Yeah, fans get involved in story after they know the characters. And if they don't know the characters, why the fuck do they care about the story?
Exactly. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just like with that, just like learn how to have more fun with it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the whole point. Like,
and it's like I said earlier, like you can't be too forceful or like heavy-handed with messaging. And I say that knowing that I said I can't fuck with an artist that doesn't have a message, but like it has to be balanced.
Yeah.
You have to have the sugar.
Can't just be shoving shit down people's throats.
Yeah, dude, it's too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Nobody wants to be preached at.
I agree. That's actually, it's sad to say, but that's one of the reasons I stopped listening to Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper has been one of my favorite artists for such a long time, but then he started preaching in all of his songs. And it's just like, that's not good for you. That's what you want to do. You're improving. Like, great. I love it. Zero hate, but like, that's not what I want to listen to, bro. I want to listen to Cocoa Butter Kisses. Like,
I feel you, man. And also he sold out.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like he was like the underground savior, dude.
Literally.
In 2000. I mean, I think
literally,
2011,
like you
12.
couldn't even find Coloring Book. You couldn't even find Coloring Book on streaming services. You had to, or was it Coloring Book or is it
Acid Rap.
Acid Rap?
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's on streaming services
He
now.
was like,
but
when he came out, he was like an infiltrator. So he was from the underground, but he had mainstream appeal. He knew how to make a catchy song and still have a message. He was exactly the type of artist that I've been describing this whole time to a T. A perfect balance of philosophy and popularity.
Yep.
And once he got up, he sold out straight up, like instantaneously, which was the biggest bummer I've ever experienced as a hip hop fan.
Agreed.
Chance the Rapper's like arc is one of the worst stories in hip hop.
Completely agree.
He was so dope, and he was like a underground hero who was gonna rival like Drake and Kanye and Kendrick Lamar for like that status.
He had the Kid Cudi cosign, dude. That's like,
and then he just started selling Kit Kats and hats.
and he signed with freaking New Balance or whatever.
It's just
whatever
corny,
it is.
bro. Like he was so thirsty for the payout, and he took it so fast with no questions asked. He got into beef with his own manager because his manager's like, these moves aren't working for your brand, and then he fired him, and his manager sued him for loss of revenue.
That I did not know.
Yeah, when he put out The Big Day, it was such a flop. His manager sued him for lost revenue because his manager told him
Only song on
Don't
that
put-
album, and I hate to say this, but the only song on that album that was worth anything was Big Fish.
I don't even know it, dude. I didn't
The
give.
only song that was worth something.
I listened to that album like 1 or 2 times, and I shelved it.
Yeah. What did you think about Childish Gambino's album that he just put out?
I haven't checked it yet, but isn't it already? It's a released music that he just got remastered and gave titles to.
I'm not sure.
Do you remember he put out that cryptic ass album called like 315? It was just a date.
No.
Every song title was just numbers. It was just the date the song was made.
Yes.
See, yeah, you probably didn't even
Yes.
remember it because he's so fucking cryptic. The album he just put out is just that album.
Okay.
He remastered it and put it out with titles.
It makes sense why I don't remember it then, because I don't like it. I don't. It's
okay. It's not his best work, but it's like the leftovers from his previous session, basically. It's
Okay.
like what Kendrick did with Untitled Unmastered,
Yep.
which is actually fire.
Super fire. Insanely fire.
Yeah, he remastered it, re-released it because he is putting out a proper album.
I was gonna say, I think he has another one coming out.
He's doing a world tour, so he's just like trying to generate hype.
I hope that this next album he puts out is better. Maybe some people love this new one, but I just thought it was so mid and just not exciting and kind of simplistic.
The 21 Savage feature goes hard though. I like that beat a lot.
Okay. Yep.
It's a cool beat, and he's talking
I
about
think
doing.
any you put 21 on anything.
He's talking about doing mushrooms and shit. I just thought that was a fun song. Okay, I got another one for you.
Bet.
I'm divided between two songs, but I think I'll do this one. It's called Ever Since I Was a Baby.
Ever Since I Was a Baby.
And it's just a song about the fact that I grew up with hip hop and that it's just like part of me.
This is it.
It's not something that I'm doing from the outside.
Yeah, no, this is it.
It's something that I got raised on this music. My community was all about this shit, and I grew up freestyling, writing, making beats, etc.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
Anything you could be doing, perhaps distributing seeds among the hoofed mammals, maybe?
Yeah, I'm onto it, because I started my day with
from?
this. Check this out.
Yeah. Okay.
12 class, 12 class.
I don't know who that is.
Perfect.
What? It's America's handsome boy, man. Handsome boy, man.
It's America's handsome boy,
Never heard
man.
of it.
Never heard of it.
12 class, 12 class.
It's a masterpiece, sir.
I've been rapping ever since I was a little baby, baby. Look in my eyes. This ain't just a game I'm playing. Listen what I'm saying, man. I'm catching a vibe. You could have a nervous breakdown trying to be the best and posting online.
Neurotic.
Let's go hit the studio and make another classic. How I'm living
Just
my
add me
life.
next time, bro.
Y'all got reckless energy, huh? I don't need that. You got plenty enemies, yeah. Check your feedback. My whole city heard of me, yeah. And they been loving. Oh, you wanna murder me? What? I rise above it. Y'all just stuck in traffic, hustling like it's automatic. See, I've been making classics, rapping in a starter jacket. I stay so far from average, never pass my math classes. You a statistic, just another chart and graph rapper. My pen and paper like laser lights in the dark cabin. Intimidate you with flavor and catch a spark faster. Fuck a superstar, I think they a small factor. I'm the go and kick a freestyle in the park rapper.
I've been rapping ever since I was a little baby, baby. Look in my eyes.
You feel?
This ain't just a game I'm playing. Listen what I'm saying, man. I'm catching a vibe.
It's a masterpiece, sir.
You could have a nervous breakdown trying to be the best and posting online. Let's go hit the studio and make another classic. How I'm living my life.
Never heard of it.
12 class, 12 class. It's some rappers in my state, yeah. They sounding cocky, but they rapping isn't great. Nah, go play some hockey, man. I get it, rap is cool, yeah. But you too sloppy, it's so many things to do. Go drink some coffee, need to sober up. Look a little closer up. This ain't a game, so don't act silly to promote your stuff. This is a culture that I grew up with from younger days. Please put your guns away, young and those don't numb the pain. If you got problems, then the lyrics help you understand. When you could therapize yourself, then you become a man. I know this art is special, please don't make it artificial. The truth we spit is what makes rappers really more official. 12 class, 12 class, 12 class, 12 class.
Truth.
Big truth.
Just truth bombs.
I like this.
It's a masterpiece, sir.
It's just making me feel physically sick. What is that gloomy racket?
12 class, 12 class.
That is electro nonsense.
They're electro pioneers. They invented music.
Invented music?
Yeah.
What happened before then?
It was just tuning up before then.
It was just tuning up before then.
That's one of those songs where I write it about no one in particular, just about like the archetype of a person.
Definitely.
And then if someone listens to it and it sounds like it's about them, it is. Do you know what I mean?
If the shoe fits.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
the
if some of
shoe
those
fits.
lines pertain to people, they pertain to people, but it's not about anyone.
I do though. That is such a huge problem here, man. Like, I'm not gonna call anybody out, but like, especially living in Billings for the year that I did, it's such a like. there's the few and the far in between that are actually like myself, like you, like Shadow, like Eric, like Dustin, like Kimchi, like there's like Zach, like Tylo, like there's a lot of people here that are really doing this, that give a shit, that this is it. This is the only option. But then there's a lot of people that see us doing that and they're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. I bet I could do that."
Yeah.
And they do it for like a month and realize that it's not fucking fun and games. It's grueling.
It takes so much fucking work to make this music, man.
Dude, and the mental aspect of it, like I see so many people in the state come and go because they think they know what it is and they just want to do it to be a cool kid, and like that's not what it is.
Yeah, and then it's also just like, even if you do want to do it and you're committed, it's like, do you have the integrity to be yourself, or are you doing a caricature of a combination of rap archetypes that you've seen online and you think is going to be like sellable and marketable, and then you dress a certain way, hold yourself a certain way, do it like this or that. It's
Willpower as well as integrity. Like I'm on year 8 and there's been so many times where it's like, why? But you just gotta fucking go. You just keep going, and like,
yeah,
people don't. I think a lot of times people don't understand how mentally taxing that is. Like,
yeah, and like, it's hard to be yourself, man. Like
super, especially when the industry doesn't want you to be yourself.
You know how many times I've thought to myself, okay, if I just delete all my music, come up with like a new name, a character, I could change the way that I like sound and dress, and I could probably sell this and go viral. I could do a music video and go viral.
But then you're stuck.
Yeah, it's like, now what?
Yeah.
Now you're a
stuck.
fake fuck.
Now you're a character.
Yeah. And some people do that and then they somehow can transition away, like Rich Brian.
Yep.
You remember him? He used to go by Lil Chigga.
Yeah. Rich Chigga or something
Rich
like
Chigga.
that.
It's like, it's all for like the controversy. It's like, you see the name, you see the cringy looking kid. Clearly doesn't look like he belongs in the culture, but then he sounds like he's from Atlanta. And it's like, okay, what is this? So you click and you get into his rabbit hole, and then it's generating plays for him.
Yep.
And then over a 5-year period, maybe he like reforms his image and becomes an artist. But it's like, the way you got in was slimy, dude.
At what cost?
I don't like it.
But then on the other side of the card, you see people that do stuff like that are doing it correctly. In my opinion, like, do you know who Tizo Touchdown is?
No, but didn't he get mentioned by Kendrick?
Yeah, so
I'm not
you may
familiar
have
with that person.
seen he wears nails in his braids, in his hair. And he's like
hardware nails?
Yeah, literally. And he like is always wearing like shoulder, he's like so like black metal, like wearing shoulder pads and like freaking.
Okay.
And he's very his music is super like just weird and kind of out there. But I've watched him basically blow up on TikTok over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And like hasn't changed a bit. Like he came into the game doing this weird shit. He's gonna stay doing this weird shit because that's who he is.
There's nothing wrong necessarily with like character driven art.
Definitely not.
If you can live inside of a character and use that to tell stories and stuff, like allegories.
Well, you see it in comedy all the time. Like Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah.
Andrew, that's a character.
For sure.
Andrew Dice Clay is a character.
Like the Gorillas.
Yeah.
Is like super cool.
Yep.
MF Doom, super cool.
MF Doom is always my favorite one.
Yeah.
Always.
I got his poster right there. You can't see it, but trust me, it's there.
Always my favorite one. And he's so like enigmatic with it. Like MF Doom, the man behind the mask. That mask is the entity. Like, and it's.
You ever listen to his music before the moniker MF Doom?
And what was he going as?
Him and his brother and a third guy had a group. He was going by like Zev Love or something like that, and they were a group. Man, I'm blanking on the name of their group right now. It's embarrassing.
I don't think I've heard this.
It was good, man. It was like 1992, 1994, and then his brother died.
Okay.
From just like an accident, like a tragic accident, I think, and he like went away. And when he came back, like it was like 3 or 4 years later, he resurfaced as MF Doom. And he did that whole process of like coming up with a character, a backstory, and then being mysterious.
As fuck.
Yeah.
As fuck.
And it was a concept project, you know? But it was like true. It was still true to his love of comics and his love of hip hop,
Yep.
and blending those things together. And that connection goes way back. The Wu-Tang Clan guys all have like 8 different names. They're all like Tony Starks and
Yep.
Johnny Blaze and shit.
Comic books and hip hop, dude. That's
And Kung Fu. Because there's so many like metaphors that work with like rhyme style and sharpening your sword and throwing kicks and jabs. And,
Yeah.
like, it just all plays together real nice. But I do like a good concept album. But yeah, it's just like sometimes you can tell it's just not genuine.
big
It's just
time.
not real. And
Yeah,
I
big
just
time.
need it to be genuine. Even if it's fictional, it can still be real.
You know, there's one person that's really bad at that, and I don't like him, but
Who?
Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh,
Machine
yeah?
Gun Kelly has gone through like 17 different characters in the past 5 years.
Well, he had to go into emo punk after he got eviscerated by M, dude. He fucking changed his whole genre.
I forgot about that whole thing, bro.
It's the whole reason,
I
dude.
literally forgot about that whole thing. That's so funny.
M drew a line. He was like, okay, hip hop's here. You're there. You have to go
You're
do
over
something else.
here.
And he was like, well, I know Travis Barker.
I know Travis Barker.
He's like, let me go
And
make
now
some.
him and Trippie Redd are putting out an album together.
Oh, he's trying to weave his way back in.
Freaking little
You better
slimy,
watch
slimy.
out. M's putting a new album out. You better
Little
fucking
slimy,
watch
slimy.
out, dude. He's gonna get toasted again. I remember back when he was releasing like ghetto ass music videos in the Cleveland area, and he
I'm
was
a
walking
wild
around,
boy.
yeah, with a baseball bat and shit,
I'm
and
a
like
wild boy.
40 guys. It's like this kind of goes hard, but
This kind of goes hard.
but I just don't get you.
This
Like,
kind of goes hard, but then you learn more about him, and you're like,
I love concept albums, though. I was thinking to myself, I might do a concept album for my next one.
I also love concept albums. The only album I've ever put out was a concept album,
What was the concept?
which it's an acid trip.
Okay.
The whole album is an acid trip. So you start with the first song is Anxiety, second song is For You, third song is Breathe, and like it's just like the
Yeah.
I was with Young Signal out in Kalispell, and we literally just like locked ourselves in a studio for 4 days and just
Good
ate
shit.
acid. So it's literally just like a trip in album form.
Yeah, for sure. I fuck with that. I was just reading about Lupe Fiasco's new album, and it's a concept album about Amy Winehouse becoming a battle rapper.
All right, Lupe.
Yeah. Apparently, Amy Winehouse has this like, so she was dating Nas
Yeah, she wanted to start a super group.
before she died, and she's always been a fan of hip hop. And
Yeah.
she was with Nas, and then she died. And at the time, she was like getting more into hip hop, and she has this voicemail that was recorded and preserved of her singing about. She's like, I got my little battle raps for you, little battle raps for you, and Lupe Fiasco's new song called Samurai is like flips that voicemail basically
dope.
like into he's singing about having these little battle raps for you, but the whole concept album is like supposed to be Amy Winehouse,
If she was
her
a
like
battle rapper.
progression becoming a battle rapper.
That's amazing.
So
That's
I'm
like
stoked.
that's like a TV show I'd watch, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's like Afro Samurai
yeah,
or something.
bro. Exactly. I'd watch the hell out of that.
You want to hear one more?
Yeah, let's do one more, and then
I
we'll
got a
say some closing words and
yeah,
sign off.
I got a pretty different one that'll be a good sign off. So
Okay, hell yeah.
it's called Star Jumper. I made it with my friend Dylan Omaya, who you met at
Yep.
our show.
Yep, Dylan's the dude.
He played some guitar. He's been really getting into his like Western style, like Montana guitar. He's
Okay.
born and raised Montanan. And so this has like a sort of like a wandering Western
Sick.
feel to it. But then my shit is all like spacey and sci-fi and hip hop. So
Space Cowboy.
yeah, it's got a real space cowboy type
Space
of thing.
Cowboy. Space Cowboy.
Load it up.
Is that you vocalizing or is that Dylan?
That's Dylan.
Yeah.
12 I'm a star jumper, a guitar strummer. If you standing still, I'm moving far from you. Cause that shit a bummer, and it's been a long summer. I put a lot of work in on these wild dumpers. I'm a star jumper, a guitar strummer. If you standing still, I'm moving far from ya. Cause that shit a bummer. It's been a long summer. I put a lot of work in on these wild dumpers. I'm a star jumper, a guitar strummer. If you standing still, I'm moving far from ya. Cause that shit a bummer. It's been a long summer. I put a lot of work in, a lot of work.
Sound like Schoolboy Q right there.
Yeah.
That hi-hat is this hi-hat. Played that one live. Tambourine. I think I played a beer can in this beat too. Like I hit it.
It's like the play like the first scene in a video game, and then like the credits open in the game, and it like pans out on the map.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like yeah. Yeah, this has so much air in it. I like it.
Yeah.
I feel like a jet in space. I'm running inside the way. Driving until I break. I'm trouble inside the pain. The love in my life feels same. I feel it inside my brain.
It's one of my favorite things about your music is you don't ever
I feel like a jet in space.
overfill anything with your. I feel like I run into the problem where I try to say too many words, and it ends up
Leave
just
the
kind
gaps.
of
Leave the space.
yeah,
The love in my life feels same.
Just let it breathe.
very balanced.
It's a masterpiece, sir!
Is that your new beat tag?
Basically.
I like it.
I sampled myself saying my own name, 12 Clouds, and I keep pitching it and shit. So that's kind of like my own DJ tag I made for myself. And then I have these samples that are like recurring throughout the whole album
Dope.
of these different scenes. The one of them talking about jazz and music, and then one of them talking about, he's America's handsome boy. He's a masterpiece.
Where's that from?
Can't give out all my secrets.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll get sued.
Cease and desist.
Yeah, give that C&D. I come from the DJ Premier school of not sharing my samples.
That art's dying. I like it. Yeah, I like that.
It's a good outro. I think it's going to be the
Super.
last song on my album.
Super good outro. That's literally like I was picturing like with like the opening credits of a video game or like
Yeah.
the end like yeah, that's
It's very cinematic music. Dylan is really good with creating like essentially music that feels like it should be a movie soundtrack.
it just that song it feels really big. It just
Yeah.
it feels really big.
Totally. He was living here in Missoula and we were making some songs, but then unfortunately he's moving around doing
did he
other
take
things.
off?
Yeah, he did. Not unfortunate for him. Unfortunately for the music we were making.
Yeah,
You know.
definitely.
But you know, if we can find time to get back together, he and I were talking about trying to collab like on a whole project
I think you guys
in like
should.
that style because
I think you guys should.
I think it'd be cool. It's a cool sound.
Yeah, definitely. He's an interesting cat too.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah, man. Well. We are nearing the end of our time, people of the world. 12, you got any closing words? You got anything you'd like to say on our way out?
Not really, man. Just be yourselves. Do the knowledge. Go dig for your hip hop. You know, quit posting on the internet that Jay-Z is overrated. Go listen to his old albums. Like, you know what I mean? Shut the fuck up and do the knowledge.
Damn straight.
Get in there, be somebody. That's all I got to say. Be yourself and be real.
Hell yeah, man. I love it. Excellent closing words. Thank you for sharing your music with us, my man.
Love you, dog.
Love you too. Always a great time. World, people, I love you. This has been Unreleased Heat. Stay tuned for the next episode.
We out.
Adios.
Welcome to my pod.
is unreleased heat.